Miss Catalina. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Yes.
All right, so today's discussion is a one-on-one about the two different terms of transgender and Fa'afafine. A lot of us who are not Samoan, I'm not talking about me, I'm just saying a lot of you, I should say, know the term transgender and Fa'afafine as well. So I just wanted to talk briefly about how the two are actually a bit different. And the history. Well, not the long history, but the short version.
Because, girl, I do not have all night.
So Fa'afafine term is very similar to the transgender term, although the Fa'afafine term has been around since time began, and Fa'afafines have been around that long in the islands of Samoa and the rest of the South Pacific. And if you don't know where Samoa is, it's in the middle of the South Pacific, a little dot. Yes, and that's where my parents are both born and raised. Although both of my parents are of mixed race, my father being part Tongan, which makes me kora Tongan. So malolele and ofa atu to all my Tongan families out there. My mother has Niuean blood and my father. Yes, so what was I talking about? So yeah, so the term fa'afafine means mannerism of a woman or like a woman. Yeah, that's what that term means. So it both means, and it does mean, you know, a man who identifies as a man but has mannerism of a woman, but it also means those who transition into a woman, like myself. I don't typically use the term fa'afafine myself, although I don't mind people calling me fa'afafine. The only issue that I have is that that people don't realize that there are two parts to fa'afafine. There are the men who don't transition, who are just purely men, gay men, and then you've got the fa'afafines who are women, transgender women, you know? So it's a mixture. So that's that. So fa'afafine has been around since the missionaries before the missionaries arrived. When the missionaries arrived, let me go back a bit. The Fa'afafines actually had a big part and a big role in the Samoan culture. And we were highly respected in the Samoan culture before the missionaries came, because they just accepted us. They saw us as valuable. We were an asset to the Samoan culture because we were able to play the male role and the female role. We were able to clean and cook. We were able to clean the house, look after the kids, and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of all changed when the missionaries came and said, no, this is what a man and woman should be. And then we were sort of pushed to the side. And it was a huge struggle to bring the Fa'afafine culture back into the Samoan culture, to remind people that we were here long time ago as well-respected citizens of Samoa, and we helped build Samoa to what it is today, and people forget that history. Anyways, so yeah, so the missionaries came and did all that. Now, that's the Fa'afafine term in the brief history. I did a bad version of it. Who cares? I'm sure you can understand. Now let's move on to transgender. So the term transgender was actually coined by Dr. Harry Benjamin, who was a endocrinologist. He was his field specialized. He specialized in endocrinology and sexology. He was also the first doctor to assist with the first gender reassignment in the US, and that was Christine Jorgensen. and she was the most because with her popularity in America, being the first person to go under reassignment surgery in the US, she also took that term, transgender, and this was back in, I think in the 80s, where she used that term on a TV show. She was interviewed, and she said that she's using the term she said that we should be using the term transgender, not transsexual, because the term transsexual has had a really bad rap, even the 70s and the 80s, and definitely gotten worse in the 90s with the show, what's that show again? Jerry Springer. So she said that we should be using the term, well, actually, no, I should change that. I should correct myself. I should say, geez, I'm just lost for words today. So she said that she likes to use the term transgender than transsexual, because when she says transsexual, people seem to think, or seem to go in a sexual place and think that we're just sexual beings. We're actually not. We're transgender, just has a nice flow to it. So that was her initial thought on using the term transgender instead of transsexual. So she was one of the very first people who kind of spreaded that, and it just kind of went everywhere. That was in the early 80s. Come in the early 90s, 1999, it was huge. Everyone was using it, but it wasn't official until year 2000, where it was made officially that transgender meant someone who identified with the gender other than the one they were assigned at birth with. Now, this is where it gets confusing. Well, I don't know if it gets confusing, but everyone kind of goes all over the place with it. So transgender, and I'm guilty of it too, but not ashamed of it, quite proud of it. So transgender was initially used as an umbrella term. So it meant that under that umbrella term, there are many different identities. So our transgender wasn't actually designed to be used to identify someone. You have this umbrella term transgender. Underneath it, you have transsexual men, transsexual women, and then you have transvestite. You have drag queens and cross-dressers and non-binary people. They all come under that umbrella term. Now, because in the late 80s, you had Christine Dorgerson, who used that term transgender to identify herself as a transgender woman. Then you have the rebirth with Laverne Cox doing exactly the same thing. So, and now everyone's stuck with it. So now we have, and I agreed. I prefer to use the term transgender woman, because it's a new twist. It has a new meaning. It's not associated with porn or sex work, where transsexual has always been associated with porn and sex work. I don't know if you know, but several years ago there was a case, in a court case, where somebody was actually trying to sue several of the porn companies to refrain from using the term transsexual, because they were trying to win back the term transsexual and turn it around. But unfortunately, they lost that case. But anyways, we now are using the term transgender, and that's how I identify myself, as a transgender woman. I don't typically use the term Fa'afafine, although I sometimes do. And I don't care if people call me Fa'afafine or use that term to describe me as Fa'afafine, as long as they know that I am a woman too. That's most important. Because I think in our culture, in the Samoan culture, we all think of Fa'afafine as just men. When who dress up, gay men who are feminine. Yes, there is that part, but there's also the Fa'afafine women who have transitioned and live 24/7 as a woman, like myself. So I hope that has helped bring an understanding to the two different terms. I don't know if I feel like I've missed something out. I don't think so. I'm losing my voice suddenly. I don't know why. It's a beautiful Saturday morning today. And yeah, so I think I'm just gonna let it go. I just wanted to share my thoughts on the difference between transgender and Fa'afafine. Alright, now before I end this video, I also want to shout out to one of the Samoa and New Zealand's legendary entertainers, Cindy of Samoa. Cindy of Samoa is one of my icons, my idols. When I was living at home, I used to watch her videos. She used to enter these competitions and I would watch her non-stop. I wanted to be Cindy of Samoa. Anyways, I wanted to shout out to Miss Cindy of Samoa. Please go follow her on YouTube and is she on YouTube? I don't know, but I'll find out and put the link down below. But she's definitely on Facebook and definitely on Instagram because I stalk her on there all the time, and I have actually met her once. She probably won't even remember, but yes, I actually met Cindy of Samoa at the old taxi club in Sydney, and my heart almost fell to the ground because I had no idea she was in town. I was just going out having drinks with my friends, and then I see this girl and I thought, is my dream come true? Is this a dream? Why is this beautiful Polynesian lady sitting at this table looking like Cindy of Samoa? And I walked up and I can't remember what I said, but I just remember having a conversation with her and just talking to her. And I don't remember anything else because I was just, like I thought I was in a dream. And that was the early day of my transition. And so I didn't take a picture. I didn't have a camera with me. And normally I have a camera. Anyways, the other person that I want to shout out to is my girl, Sheer Diamond. Oh my God. I am in awe of Sheer Diamond. I think she is absolutely incredible and amazing. Sheer Diamond, you can follow her on Facebook because I stalk her there. You can also follow her on Instagram and on YouTube. I stalk her everywhere. No, I haven't met Sheer Diamond, but we actually chat every now and then on Facebook. Sheer Diamond actually reminds me of the legendary and great Maya Angelou. Their mindset are very, very, very similar. Even their history is very similar, Yeah. So don't forget to follow these wonderful, legendary Fa'afafines and transgender people that I've just mentioned because they're absolutely amazing. Yes. Okay, I'm finally finished. Alright, like I said, it's a beautiful Saturday morning and I'm going to go have lunch.
Alright, bye bitches. Bye.